distinguished guests, members of the automotive fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you all. Firstly, I thank each and every one of you for taking time out to be a part of the India EV Conclave, which we at Autocar Professional, in partnership with the Tamil Nadu government, are very happy to bring to you. Now, we've been in talks with the government for some time, and we've really been, I would say personally, super impressed with their absolute vision to transform the state into a hub for electric mobility. And the idea is to get everyone here in one room. Now, looking back, EVs, I remember when I drove my first EV, it was back in 2000. It was a Riva. I thought, that would look like a glorified golf cart at that time. And I have to tell you something, we put it on the cover thinking it would be great, and that was one of our worst selling covers at that time. So really there was absolutely no interest in it at all. But how things have changed. I think, from becoming a mere buzzword, it's really witnessed a remarkable evolution. I think we've seen what has triggered that, really the advent of models which can really now challenge ICE vehicles, and triggered by a revolution which I think, to be fair, has been started by Tata Motors, and now everyone's been on that journey. And we've seen how the numbers have just galloped along the way. I think what's driven it has been a combination of factors, including government initiatives, technological advancements in products, and changing consumer preferences. I think not a day goes by when we don't see at least one or many green number plates now, which I think a lot of owners are wearing as a badge of honor. So just to give some numbers, EV sales, which were pegged at a measly 2,500 units in 2014, they've really come a long way. The past 2 years particularly have witnessed an accelerated growth for the EV sector. Annual sales in 2022 increasing by a staggering 209% year on year to take the EV industry beyond the 1 million mark for the first time. Of course, we know that two-wheelers really have been driving this growth a lot. I mean, it's been fastest adoption over there. They really lend themselves to electrification from a lot of, especially from a use case point of view. And clearly we are seeing that, everyone is on this journey. Now, 2023 took off where 2022 ended, and the million sales milestone was already breached this September. In fact, India's EV segment clocked yet another milestone, with cumulative sales surpassing the 3 million mark by the end of last month. The transition towards electric mobility is, as we know, a part of India's larger goal to reduce carbon emissions, enhance energy security, and promote sustainable transportation. Now, really the question is, how strongly can this momentum be sustained? Globally, we are seeing reports of EV slowdown in key markets, and the question is there a big divide between the early adopters and the mass market? So it's all this which we want to talk about in the EV Conclave, which aims to holistically touch upon all the facets relevant to India's transition towards electric vehicles, and all the opportunities and, of course, a lot of the challenges. And really, it's an honor to have bring together the brightest minds, the most innovative companies, and the key stakeholders that are shaping the landscape of electric mobility in India to this forum. So now, over the course of the day, we have an absolute jam-packed agenda. Our esteemed speakers are going to be addressing key issues. They're going to be sharing insights and explore solutions that will shape the trajectory of the EV sector. So with that, I want to welcome you all once again and encourage you to embrace this day of fresh ideas, to engage, learn, and inspire one another as we navigate the electrifying road ahead that is transforming India's automotive landscape. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insights and a roundup of the sector. May I now invite Mr. Arun Roy, IAS Secretary to the Government, Industries, Investment Promotion and Commerce Department, Government of Tamil Nadu, to address the gathering.
Honorable Minister for Industries, Investment Promotion and Commerce, Honorable Vice Chairman of the State Planning Commission, MD Guidance, Editor of Autocar, Mrs. Rabji, distinguished corporate leaders from the EV space, all our esteemed guests, friends from the media, a very good morning to all of you. Let me first of all thank Autocar India for partnering with the Government of Tamil Nadu, particularly Guidance and the State Planning Commission, for organizing this wonderful coming together of probably the best minds in the EV space in the country here to discuss and debate on the trajectory of the EV transition our country and the state is going through. Ever since Industrial Revolution, every generation has gone through very transformative technological changes. And if a future historian looks at our generation today, I'm sure something that would certainly stand out is the transition of IC engines to EV, which is what we are living through right now. It would be a mistake to look at this transition towards electric vehicles merely as a technological change. It's a change that affects the economy as a whole. It affects supply chains, it affects jobs, it affects the way we generate and look at energy generation, as in the grid as a whole. It affects the way we plan our roads, it affects the way we do urban planning, and so on. So it's much beyond a mere mobility change, a technology in mobility change, what we are talking about today. This transition, which is inevitable and global, has both opportunities and challenges. Talking about opportunities, I am very glad and proud to say that our state, Tamil Nadu, has been at the very forefront of grabbing the opportunities which the EV transition has offered. Tamil Nadu today is India's leading EV manufacturing state. Over 40% of all EVs sold in the country today is manufactured in our state. Over 70% or close to 70% of all electric two-wheelers manufactured in the country is sold in this country is manufactured in the state. And we have been a leader in attracting EV-related investments from various OEMs as well as component manufacturers. I'm sure today we would also discuss how we got where we are. It's a combination of our existing, it's a consequence of our existing component ecosystem, automobile ecosystem, our infrastructure, the proactive policies the government has put in place. We had the first EV policy in 2019, followed by an updated policy in 2023. The flexibility we have offered to the investors and so on. But the challenge, we are also equally aware that any leadership position brings its own challenges. Today, the economic reality is that a leader has to keep trying harder and harder, like running on a treadmill, to stay in the same place. So we are intensely aware of the challenges, and the government is at it in meeting those challenges. There are various other challenges as well which we are intensely aware of, which I'm sure this conclave would be discussing during the course of the day. First of course is the technological challenge. There is the consumer always have what we call the range anxiety. Whether if we buy a vehicle and use it, will I be able to travel a long distance without any hassles? This is both a technological challenge as well as a policy challenge, because the onus is on governments to partner with the private sector to create adequate charging infrastructure and put adequate charging infrastructure in place. We have the challenge of how the supply chain gets transformed. Tamil Nadu is an economy with a very strong MSME sector, and a good number of our MSMEs supply to the IC engine ecosystem, where, as you all know, there are many more moving parts. When we transition to EV, the number of parts reduces, which also means loss of business to many of our small businesses. So it's a challenge for the state government to plan ahead and rehabilitate the businesses which will take the stress of this transition. Our jobs, again, a related issue is that of jobs. When businesses become outdated or need to be reinvented, the jobs, established and entrenched jobs in those sectors are also under threat. So we need to reskill our workforce in the automobile, particularly the automobile component sector, to adapt to these new jobs. As I already mentioned, we need to work with the private sector and with the public sector institutions like oil marketing companies to put adequate charging infrastructure in place. We also need to look at the recycling facilities that is available for our batteries, which is an inevitable consequence of the electric vehicle transitioning. Another aspect we need to look at is the way we generate power. The USP of electric vehicles is the green or the sustainable aspect of it. But if the electricity we use to charge EVs comes from so-called dirty sources, then the whole transition becomes pointless from a sustainability point of view. So the transition to EV must also equally be accompanied with a transition in the way we generate and transmit power. So I'm just scratching the surface of the challenges which is ahead of us. I'm sure today's conclave with a lot of experts who have already here would debate these issues and come up with the concrete suggestions which not only Tamil Nadu government, but government of India and other states can take you and implement. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. I would now like to invite Dr. J. Ranjan, Vice Chairman, State Planning Commission, Government of Tamil Nadu, to give his special address.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. On behalf of the State Planning Commission, Government of Tamil Nadu, and the Ministry of Industries and Commerce, I welcome all the delegates for this important conclave. I thank Honorable Minister for Industry, Dr. T.R. Biraja, for inviting SPC to be part of this conclave. I also thank Dr. Arun Roy, MD, guidance as well, for this wonderful conclave as well as for the wonderful work, the other work that they are doing in the department. As the Vice Chairman of the State Planning Commission, I thought I would flag the roles of various government departments in shaping the Tamil Nadu's EV landscape. EV, as we all know, is an important component of our dream of achieving $1 trillion economy for our state. The dream is the dream of our Chief Minister, which we all share. And it's not the dream of $1 trillion economy, as you all know, is not for the sake of the number, the $1 trillion. As we constantly talk about the model of governance that we have in our state, the Dravidian model of governance, which ensures that whenever we grow, the growth reaches the people in terms of more prosperity for them. And in that sense, we look forward towards this conclave, because it's not just reaching the $1 trillion goal, but also reaching it in a greener way. In that context, I thought I would like to highlight some of the works that remains to be done at the state level and the government department level. First of all, if you take the energy infrastructure, we have a lot of distance to cover. TANGEDCO should expedite the development of a robust charging infrastructure. This involves establishing a comprehensive network of charging stations across the state to alleviate range anxiety and promote EV adoption. Tamil Nadu Power Department should ensure a reliable and resilient power supply to support growing demand for EV charging. This may involve the integration of renewable energy sources into the grid, aligning with our commitment to sustainability. Incentive mechanisms. The financial incentives and subsidies to make EVs more affordable for consumers. This can be achieved through collaboration with the Finance Department to devise innovative financial models and tax incentives. We can explore partnerships with financial institutions to facilitate easy access to loans for potential EV buyers, thereby accelerating the adoption rate. And in terms of regulatory framework, the Transport Department has to formulate and implement policies that incentivize the transition to electric fleets. This may involve tax breaks, reduced registration fees, or other measures to make electric commercial vehicles more attractive to businesses. Streamline the process of obtaining necessary permits and approvals for setting up charging stations is also the need of the hour. A simplified regulatory framework will encourage private investment in charging infrastructure. In terms of skill development, what we find is that we need to collaborate with the Labour Department to address the potential challenges in the transition. Focusing on reskilling programs for those who are already employed in the traditional automotive sectors is very essential in this transition. And in terms of sustainability, what we find is that electric vehicles should be seen as a component of our efforts to build a more sustainable industrial future for the state. Electrifying public transport, auto rickshaws, and taxis should therefore be given primary importance. Similarly, innovations for reducing the ecological footprint of battery recycling should be given the utmost importance. Public awareness and education. We should launch a comprehensive public awareness campaign in collaboration with the Information and Public Relations Department to educate citizens about the benefits of EVs and dispel the myths that surround it. We should also engage in outreach programs to educate automotive dealers and service centers about EV technology, ensuring a knowledgeable workforce to support the growing EV market. In terms of collaboration with the institutions, we should foster collaboration with the industrial department to attract investment in EV manufacturing, R&D, and innovation. We should facilitate the establishment of EV component manufacturing units within the state, creating a robust supply chain and reducing dependence on imports. Infrastructure for support for industries. We should provide necessary infrastructure support, including industrial parks and special economic zones, to encourage the establishment of EV manufacturing units. We should work with industries to develop a sustainable framework for circularity, recycling, and disposal of EV batteries, ensuring environmental responsibility in the entire product life cycle. In conclusion, the successful transition to electric vehicle requires a coordinated effort across various government departments, including TANGEDCO, the Power Department, the Transport Department, and the Industries Department. Together, I think we can pave the way for a sustainable and prosperous future for Tamil Nadu in the true Dravidian model sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. With that, I would now like to invite the Honorable Dr. T.R.B. Raja, Minister of Industries, Investment Promotion and Commerce Department, Government of Tamil Nadu, to deliver his keynote address.
Honorable Vice Chairman of the State Planning Commission, my dear Annan, and my mentor in many ways, through Dr. Jayaranjan Avargal. He's usually a very impromptu man. I did see he was a bit nervous today. I did hear a lot of Professor Srinivasan here through his speech, who's also here from the State Planning Commission. I'm sure when you put an economist, a very, very good one at that, on an EV stage, you do get a bit of butterflies. That's because the economists also know that this transition is also going to take a lot of thinking and a lot of really deep economical thinking. So, sir, thank you for coming over here, and thanks for being part of, thanks to the State Planning Commission for making this happen. This wouldn't have happened but for your gracious guidance. So thank you, Vice Chairman. My respected Industry Secretary, who's been an amazing partner for the department, my beloved MD guidance through Vishnu, my dear friend Homaz of Adithanar, who basically sowed the seeds for this conclave way back in June, I guess. Both of us sat in a very, very small EV and did this show. And then we started off talking about what we can do for the EV ecosystem at overall for India and particularly for Tamil Nadu. And then in September, I think, we started this discussion about this conclave, which I'm very, very excited about. This conclave is going to lay the foundation for the next 5 years to come, I'm sure, because of the amazing, amazing minds that are sitting here today. So thanks so much for pulling this off in really, really short time. And thank you, Team Autocar, also for this amazing show here. Distinguished representatives of the EV sector, friends from the media, and delegates attending this conclave here, good morning. I do know that the rains in Chennai have made this a very sluggish start, but it is going to be powered very quickly. We made sure that Chennai rains don't affect transit time in Chennai, because that much we've done in this regime. Initially, it was a different scene. Now that has been corrected. And going forward, I do want to see even this little bit of a delay being sorted. So thanks for coming here. Thanks for coming over to the EV capital of India. Chennai is the auto capital. It is also the electronics capital. We are number one in a lot of other sectors. And hence, because of the marriage between the auto capital and the electronics capital, you have almost 90, 95%, almost 100% of the EV capital already done. The build-up to this conclave was easy, but it would have been much tougher without the blessings of our Honorable Chief Minister, who's been amazing help for the department as such. The Department of Industries is very close to his heart because he held it for some time. And he is one person who wants to see innovation on a daily basis. He pushes us to do that in governance too, so that becomes a pain sometimes. He does pushes very, very hard. He's an amazingly talented, amazingly hardworking person. He expects that from us too. And hence the speed that you see today. And hence the speed that you see today in Tamil Nadu. I'm sure all friends from all other states will also agree that when any investor walks into Tamil Nadu, by the way, India is now the #1 destination for all investors. And the first door that they knock on is that of Tamil Nadu. Why? Because Tamil Nadu gives you the perfect ecosystem. It has a brilliant governance model, the Dravidian model of governance, which has inclusivity, it respects diversity, and it also has sustainability at the back of the mind. So when any investor comes in, we tick a lot of boxes. We actually tick almost all of the boxes. And when going forward, I'm sure we'll make sure the rest are also ticked. But this, ladies and gentlemen, didn't happen overnight. We worked hard for decades to get here. We had to build our educational system first. We built ground up. We made sure all our children get equal opportunity in education. We made sure that every 5 kilometers there's a school. We made sure every school has a very good teacher, and we made sure we paid them really well. Some of them say we're paying them too high. I don't think so. I do think that they're getting really, they're doing an amazing job of building the entire state, and in that process, the nation too. So we built an amazing infrastructure basically to make this the knowledge hotbed. And that is why we are also heading towards our ultimate goal of making Tamil Nadu the knowledge hub of Southeast Asia. We also want to make this the R&D capital, which is already happening here. You do know that in the EV sector, we make about 40% of all the four-wheelers and about 68% of all the two-wheelers that are sold in India are manufactured right here in Tamil Nadu. And that doesn't come easy, but because we built on the ecosystem, we built on the skill sets, we built on the talent ecosystem over decades, right? So now that we have the auto ecosystem and the electronics ecosystem, we did about 5.37 billion in electronics last year, #1 again in India. So when we do that, when we built that, we know that it's taken time and it's given us a good, solid foundation. But where do we go from here? This EV transition, it's happening so quickly, and Hamar says he thought about it in the early 2000s. But then, we all spoke about that. But this transition right now, Even though some of the biggest manufacturers in the world, like Toyota, thinking otherwise, this EV transition is definitely going to happen. So when we, as a state, think about what we want to do for this transition is, A, we want to build on the infrastructure that is already here. We want to build on the EV charging infrastructure. We want to build on the EV R&D infrastructure. We want to build on the component manufacturing infrastructure. So heavily, labor-intrinsic sector, the MSMEs, and that's where we're concentrating very, very heavily. I personally think the biggest innovation happens at the MSME level, right? It doesn't happen at the high level. It happens right there when you have to correct that small nuts and bolts at the bottom. So I think we need to make sure that our MSMEs are strengthened with the best possible talent, and they get an amazing innovation ecosystem in place too. That's where Tamil Nadu, StanCam and TANSAM have all built to give them the access to amazing research capabilities. So in Tamil Nadu, as I said, we are inculcating innovation from the base. We're making sure our children in schools and colleges think innovatively, do creative things, and we're also making sure our legislators are taught sustainability. Yes, we did go through a class of sustainability. So most of them found it boring, but then they realized that this is where the world is heading, and they really saw a light at the end of the tunnel, and when they knew that this government is also trying to do so much for sustainability. This auto sector alone is at least, I'm told that it's contributing to 12% of all the emissions. So we have a big job to do. The third largest emission comes from the road transport sector in India. Almost 90% of that is from the roads. But luckily, I think India has a target of about, the way we're going, I think about 1/3 of all the four-wheelers will be EV by 2030, at least half of the two-wheelers by 2030, and 75% of all the four-wheelers are definitely going to be EV-driven by 2050, is what many of the studies are saying. In that context, Tamil Nadu is, as the EV capital, exports to about 169 countries. Can you beat that? We export to 169 countries from here in Tamil Nadu. We have already attracted investments worth 40,000 crores into Tamil Nadu. We're building up on a Tamil Nadu EV portal. My good friend at the MD Guidance has promised me that he's going to pull that up very, very soon. We're going to make sure that all our charging infra goes onto a very smart app, which anybody can access. You can see where we're going to integrate all the charging stations. We do want to become the charging capital also. We're rolling out thousands of new charging infrastructure as we speak. I really wanted to make that announcement today, but there's been a little bit of a technical issue with, of course, Tangentco. So that we're trying to correct. Electricity availability is an issue. Charging availability is an issue because of space, but we're trying to correct that. So that's going to happen very, very soon. Tamil Nadu has ticked all the boxes in production and manufacturing, but adoption has been an issue. And that is something which we want to correct too. I think there's a mindset among the public, so that's going to be corrected. We're going to educate them even better. We're going to give them more charging stations so that they feel comfortable moving around. They know that they get out of their houses, and wherever they go, they're going to find a charging station very close by. So once that happens, I'm sure we'll also have a tailor-made scrapping policy in. I think once that is one of the biggest boosts that the sector can get. Once the scrapping policy comes in, when I say tailor-made, we also want to make sure that it accommodates the interests of the vulnerable. Then finally, we here talk about climate common sense, right? This is a state which has been inculcating climate sense into the kids at a very early age. As I said, we are also the greenest state. So when you charge an EV in Tamil Nadu, you're charging it as in the greenest possible way. And we are also edging towards becoming going towards about 75% of green energy very, very soon. We are heading that direction. We are at 50 now. We should be heading there very, very soon. We are also becoming the hydrogen capital. So we don't want to bet on one horse. So we are also betting on hydrogen heavily. And you do know that we have already signed 3 MOUs with big conglomerates for hydrogen manufacturing in the state. But all this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to boil down to the R&D sector that we are trying to build in Tamil Nadu. Thanks to amazing institutions like the IIT Research Park. I don't know how many of you know that some of the biggest R&D happens in Tamil Nadu. Recently, Hitachi Energy, they opened their R&D, the world's largest R&D center, their world's largest R&D center right here in Tamil Nadu. 3,500 research jobs, 500 plus PhDs. Can you find this anywhere else in India? That's why Tamil Nadu is leading this innovation race right now in India. So we are building up on that. So when I say climate common sense is practical and informed approach to addressing climate change that is based on shared understanding of the scientific evidence and the need for collective responsible action. Yes, I did write this down. I had to write this down because I don't want to go wrong with this. I wrote it down when I wrote down. So this, I think, is what we're going to build on. A politician, you see, so I had to do that. That's for the media. So anyway, so we're going to build on this here in Tamil Nadu, and I'm seeing a very, very green future because of the amazing mix of educated legislators and an amazing astute IAS regime here in Tamil Nadu. This marriage between two amazing sets of people is giving us amazing results. We've broken free of a certain sluggish period, and now we're zooming forward in the EV adoption in many, many sectors, including the public transport sector also. So finally, I just want to request all of you to please bring in your R&D into Tamil Nadu. We are, if not soon, we are definitely the R&D capital also. So bring us the R&D. We want everything to happen here, right here in Tamil Nadu. It's not about the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. We are not talking about numbers. I'll tell you why. I'll just give you two examples of why investors will be happy in Tamil Nadu. You really can't find this talent anywhere else, and you can't beat the fact that 43% of all the women working in India are from Tamil Nadu. Can you beat that? I mean, yeah. So we take diversity, we take inclusivity, and we take sustainability. I don't think these three things you need to look beyond these things for three things to build an EV manufacturing hub. So welcome to Tamil Nadu. Bring your R&D here into Tamil Nadu. And finally, I'll leave you with an invitation to come in and to the celebration of knowledge. On the 7th and 8th of January, Tamil Nadu is hosting the Global Investors Meet 2024. We're going to have some of the biggest names in the industry coming here, and we're going to beat expected numbers for sure. You can rest assured that we're going to bring in really good numbers by way of investment. But I personally, and definitely my Honorable Chief Minister, is not looking at numbers. We are not looking at numbers. We want this to be an amazing event where people bring in their knowledge, share it with everyone else in the room, and that knowledge gets built into amazing innovation that happens right here in Tamil Nadu, the knowledge capital of India. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming here. Be there on the 7th and 8th of January 2024. You're going to see some amazing people come in, and I do want all of you to come in and listen in and share your knowledge also with Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, for you, is the EV capital, and I'm sure what interests us is the transition to becoming the R&D capital of the world. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, Hamas.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. Swarabji to please felicitate our distinguished guests. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And now we have something very special coming up next. Dr. Raja, if you could do the honors, we request you to power up the India EV Conclave. We have the switch on that side of the stage. And here's your control. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमनाधिनायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल झलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मागे गागे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
We now have a special video, ladies and gentlemen. If I could request you to turn your attention to the screen. Can we have the guidance video, please? Ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting with our first panel discussion in just a few minutes. In the meantime, could I please request everyone to double check that your mobile phones are on silent mode. I repeat, if everyone could please put your mobile phones on silent mode. Thank you so much. We'll be starting in a minute.